Pro League, Season 4. I'm Jim and SO, joining me is PDG. Pete, it's late night here in Australia. We're broadcasting ESL Pro League. Two fantastic teams straight off the bat. G2, EnVyUs, the all-French battle. Are you ready for a good one?
Oh, absolutely. The storybook French rivalry continues as these two teams lock horns once again. But I think we're going to jump straight in game as these guys are live into the pistol round, as we'll quickly run through the rosters here. EnVyUs have Kenny S, Devil, NBK, Apex, and Happy. And of course, on the G2 side of things, Body, Smiths, Scream, Shocks, and RPK is NBK. Does Body the Body Man himself, and that's a lovely start for EnVyUs. Jim, they've been good on train recently, but they haven't played it for a while. Last time they did play it was a loss against Mouse Sports, so they'll be keen to turn that around, and that's a great start there.
Ooh. And what a shot there from Shocks to kick things into gear, as we do see EnVyUs take that inside bomb site now, and they're pushed up with Apex, picking two nice frags up and making it really difficult for G2 here as Kenny S goes down as well, leaving poor Scream to do it all for himself. The one taps need to come his way. He does find the first.
Well, they do talk about them. They talk often about them, don't they? About his one taps.
It is a talking point. And
it's a talking point.
He's going to need to pull it out of the bag here at the moment, but I think at the moment he's just resigned to the fact that he's not going to be able to win this one.
Yeah, MPK there showing his, I guess, transferable skill in so many different areas of the game. He's such a well-rounded individual as a Counter-Strike player. So he opened up the frags there for his team. NBK going large, getting the first kill, and then after that, it was just a matter of steamrolling the rest of the G2 squad. So EnVyUs pick up the pistol there, Jim. Fantastic start to their ESL campaign.
Fantastic start indeed. And always a bonus picking up the pistol on that T side of things.
Yep.
As we know, the map still holds a slight CT bias. So EnVyUs, well, looking at G2, they've actually bought into this, Pete. They're going to try and make the pistols and the scout on Scream work. Yeah,
and they've actually got head armor as well. RPK, Shocks, and Body buying that head armor. So they're prepared for a number of SMGs, but unfortunately for them, they're going to run into the majority of AKs here for Team EnVyUs. So 3 AKs on Devil, NBK, and Apex, as the scout shot does ring off from the Ivy alleyway, and it is smoked off now. RPK trapped on the wrong side of that one, and fairly default round here coming out for EnVyUs. They're just flushing him out, Jim, and they're going to make the wise decision to roll into this inside bomb site. It's going to be on Body here for some action.
Right, and Body picks up the first frag into Kenny S. Does also get picked up, though, by Apex. Happy with that lurk through Vines, making himself known. He does play that lurk role quite well. So we do see, finally, EnVyUs get that bomb plant inside. Just Shocks and RPK to try and do some damage. Shocks has actually picked up that UMP that Happy had, and so unceremoniously lost as he pushed his way through Vines. But 3 versus 2, you could see G2 are just waiting, holding for those exit frags.
They certainly are. G2 here in a awkward position, but if they can get away with 2 sets of head armor and this SMG 5-7 combo, if they can get away with it, it's not bad. It's a situation where at least you have some form of defense on both bomb sites if you want to split that up, but as it stands, Apex is going to find the head of his French rival Shocks. Now will be 2-0 to EnVyUs. Pretty clean just going down with those 2 SMGs. Also keeping those 3 AKs, Jim. All the little things going right now for EnVyUs, but still, they have to credit them with a good start here.
They haven't done too much wrong. It's fairly standard play from both of these teams at the moment, but just Scream retaining that scout, and going to look to do some damage here as we do see them depart spawn, but fairly standard split. In fact, the exact same split that they ran last round with Happy lurking Vines as that information play.
It is interesting that they have chosen to rebuy those Mac 10 after losing it last round. So they do recognise that the secondary eco will come in here for G2, and they'll be undermanned. But that 5-7 that was saved with the armor comes in handy, Jim. First frag of the round going RPK's way with that 5-7, doing the damage at Vines.
And immediately eliminating that lurk of Happy as well. MBK has taken quite a lot of damage at high ramp, does go down, and they're making things work as they do try and enter the bomb site, but this is the awkward position they're caught in as Shocks finds Devil with that Deagle, and it's all on Apex here. He does have an AK and a single Gren in utility, but he's up against 3 members of G2 and looking to find that perfect post-plant position.
Yeah, Smith's on the prowl with his teammates Shocks and RPK, trying to find the lone terrorist. The advantage, of course, for Apex does have 100 health and AK in hand with that grenade, as you mentioned. He's going to have a pretty good idea of what's going on here, as he gets a spot on Vines, but surely he'll be able to hear some action. G2 doing a great job of staying concealed, but now it's all a ruse as Apex picks up the first, looks around, can't really find a second, will aim up, but the bomb is being stuck there, and RBK will do the job on Apex. It seemed as it was going to be a simple closeout, but Shox unfortunately won't be able to hold on. I didn't know exactly when he got on that one, but as it stands, the Terrorist does enough there, but it's a pretty hairy situation that he got himself out of in the end.
And they did manage to get his team out of bother, as EnVyUs do ride their way out of that one. Great work from G2. They made it really expensive for EnVyUs in that instance, so they'll at least be trying to keep the Terrorist money low, as we do see the first gun round come out from his teams. Smith with that AWP, ever reliable, and Kenny S, as expected, picking up the AWP for EnVyUs. So keen to see these two go head-to-head, but very, very slow passive start from the T's. Not really too keen on taking territory just yet.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be derogatory in here in any way towards Smith and his AWPing ability, but surely if there was a direct AWP duel here, he'd be not the favoured side of things. At least Kenny S, world-renowned for his ability with that dope scope. And he's going to whiz around this map and try and find an opening kill, but at the moment it's EnVyUs taking it pretty slow towards Vines. Apex here trying to push up through the smoke. He won't find anything just yet, but he has cleared the close corner. So slow and steady wins the race here for EnVyUs, Jim, but eventually they're going to squeeze this outside bomb site.
Just waiting for that Vines element to fall into place. You can see they've put 3 members there and are going to slowly just creep out those other channels. Smiths is waiting there with that AWP, boosted his position, picks up Happy coming out T-Con, and it's now difficult as well for, I do believe it is for MBK out that SL, but Apex in the meantime has slithered his way out Vines. Will make it very expensive now for G2, picking up 2 frags. MBK finally out of SL, but RBK's picked up a double, made it really difficult for G2 as we now see, should I say, EnVyUs, as we do see 2 versus 1 situation. Apex does have that bomb. He's going up against Body and RPK.
And he will need to get the full team down here as he tries to find at least one. He turns around, Body should have the angle here. He jumps, but the spray will connect in the end. Body picks up the frag. And he will pick up the defuse as well. Good stuff there from Body. Patient retake there. And for me, that was all about Smith finding the duel with the rifler and not necessarily isolating himself against Kenny S. So whether that was by fortune or design, it worked itself out there for Smith as he picked up the first, and then everything else for G2 fell into place there. Nice teamwork. Jim, EnVyUs here with a pretty scrappy buy, a couple of Galils and a Tech 9. They're looking to force the pace that they know the G2 money can't be a great situation here, but fortunately for G2, they have those 2 scopes in play.
Oh, they do, and they're just going to try and keep their opposition at bay at the moment. Very Vines-heavy play coming out here from EnVyUs at the moment. You can see 4 members just making their way over, and that lone Ranger in NBK holding things down in the White Halls. So he's just looking for an inside push. And EnVyUs just looking for that opening frag here. You can see tensions are going to come to a head at Vines, as we do see Devil just start things off with that smoke. And EnVyUs will try and creep their way, or at least try and make a distraction up here at Vines. You can see they pulled the plug on that though. And they're going to head back towards that inside site.
That's a good smoke to throw if it's a progression smoke, a smoke that can be used to push further into a choke point, and thus giving the impression to the G2 CT side players that something was going to come of that particular one, but it won't be the case. Body finding the head of MBK there as he tries to get down the lower ramp, so that's a good start there for G2, and they're starting to look in better shape now as the EnVyUs economy is in trouble, but also they're down a man, and with only 40 seconds to go, limited utility, Jim, 1 smoke and a couple of flashes are all they're going to have to try and fend off this take. And Body throws a close flash, but it's Happy picking up RPK at Vines. Shox does find one, which makes everything so much harder.
But Body's made his way through the low ramp here and is going to have a fantastic position as Screen picks up a frag on the lurking Happy. So this is really awkward here for EnVyUs as they try and find Body, but in the meantime, it's going to make it difficult for them to plant. 15 seconds left. Apex is doing his best. He does find 2 frags, but Body finally makes himself known, does pick up the last frag, and wins the round. So that flashed play through smoke from Body, as fortunate as it might have been, ended up winning the round there for G2.
Well, I think at this level, we can both agree that individual flashes of brilliance are often required to win your team rounds in these kind of games when the players are all of this caliber. It's those individual tiny moments when you choose to be brave and push that smoke with a flashbang or retreat back into the bomb site, and Body certainly was able to choose wisely there, make a huge play for his team. And yeah, just get it done. So G2, greater recovery after losing the first couple, and Shox will open up with an SMG there and take down MBK.
And we will see Apex pick up that Deagle frag onto RPK. And we will just see the CT's push up quite aggressive here. Actually, you can see Shox in a very forward position there, picks up Happy, and will fall back now. Scream also in a very forward position there in Trash, picking up Kenny S as he does surrender the bomb as well. Not much here for Apex and Devil to do as Apex finds one. Devil is eliminated, but Apex with a lot of work to do here. 3 versus 1 finds the first. Scream goes down, but that MP9 of Smiths just farms the money, takes down Apex as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit should be given there to Shox for picking up 2 kills, but it's how he picked them up. He was aggressive with that SMG. He made sure that he was the one picking up those kills with that money bonused weapon, as well as Smiths at the end there picking up the last one. So great job there by G2, not only winning the round, but winning the round the way that they wanted to. The AWP now in play. It's on Shox, so even though Smiths was able to start pretty well with that rifle, Happy went down originally to the AWP last round, but now it'll find its way to Shox. The EnVyUs boys are pretty keen actually on this inside execute. They're going to pop flash. Shox is going to peek out, but he gets greedy after the first exchange with MBK, which he was successful. Kenny S finds Body, and luckily for Shox, he's able to get away, but the trade is there. The trade is there, and it will just be 4 versus 4 right now. Kenny S and the crew trying to slow this one down and find yet another kill and work their way into their T side. After that pistol round and a couple of ecos, they've hit a wall a little bit, and the G2 defense is working strong.
They have. Once Shox got that initial frag on the inside, you can see they pulled the plug on that one, decided to fall back and try other avenues as they did force a rotation from G2, but now the trick is up. Smiths and Scream find the frags. Devil is able to find the only reply thus far as we now see them smoked out. Great work from Apex, picking up Smiths, who tried to push his way through that smoke. And Scream just making his position now known, making it very difficult for EnVyUs to get anywhere. It's Happy now, 2 versus 1. We've seen him win these many, many times before, but they know where he is now. Shox should pick him up, and he does. And another round for G2 there, and they're 4th on the trot.
Yeah, but look at the work Apex is putting in for his side. He went absolutely massive a couple of rounds there, and he's well out in front. His whole team is totaling 9 kills right now, and he's all the way out at 14. So massive heavy lifting here from Apex. But this is EnVyUs' pick. And right now, those gun rounds really not clicking for them. The G2 side in pretty good form right now. Shox able to use that ult to good effect, but it was the Scream positioning there that really was the key for them late round. And now it will be the G2 side getting a little bit aggressive and spotting out that IVI with 2 members. It is just the pistols of EnVyUs that will fight the good fight, and Scream gets one tapped himself. Fortunately for him, he's got head armor, and Kenny S doesn't quite do enough.
Unfortunately for him, he was able to survive that close encounter of the third kind. And we do see now EnVyUs try and get somewhere outside. They are making their way down the corridors of these trains, as we do see Smith get caught out by Apex. Apex, he's on a tear at the moment for EnVyUs, as we do see. Just awkward exchanges all over the place. No real territory being gained, though.
Yeah, but that was really dangerous for just a moment there until Scream shuts it down with Shox. Lovely teamwork. I was just about to jump in there and say this is looking awfully inconvenient for G2, the positions that were about to unfold, but as it stood, they did a great job of recovering lost ground.
And they don't just talk about his one-taps, his spray control in that instance as well was fantastic from Heaven.
Yeah, and you know, watching these, I guess, top-level players play against each other at this level, you can really see the difference that the recent update has made to that spray control. A lot of players moving towards more that burst and tap style, which obviously suits Scream, the original master of that mechanic as such, in terms of bursting and just tapping people down. So maybe we've got more of an OP Scream back. It's more of a Scream meta, you'd say, at the moment.
And that bodes really well for G2, who have been struggling with consistency lately. I dare say both these teams, both the French teams, have been struggling a lot with consistency. So there's a chance for either of them to get one up over their fellow countrymen and also try and build some consistency as well.
But no matter what form both these teams in, when they play each other, it's always a spectacle. It's something to behold because they come to play as Kenny S picks up a lovely shot there onto Smith. And he's going to pick up a second onto RPK. Barely even time to see his scope move, and he picks up a second. NBK easily disposing of that body. And Kenny S will silence the screams. And EnVyUs looking much better there on the back of an inside execute that was just well worked. Nothing too fancy, nothing too flash. Just a couple of good old-fashioned Kenny S AWP picks, and that's how they get it done.
Yeah, each of the stereotypes playing themselves out there in that instance. Kenny S with that AWP. Just making things easier for EnVyUs as well. CT money quite low at the moment, and this will be their last attempt at a gun round, as we will see EnVyUs eventually break their money if they do go on to win this round. So dangerous territory for G2 to be in, particularly on that CT side. This was EnVyUs' map pick as well, so not surprising to see them quite confident on that C side.
Not at all. Kenny S will be confident on any side of any map with that scope in hand, and he certainly has that at the moment. Shox is going to continue his good work with that AWP, but G2 need to be really careful here, as you said, Jim, because their money situation isn't all that great right now, and they're going to have to string a few rounds here together where they don't lose many players. It's not enough for them to win right now. They need to win big for a few rounds to get themselves sorted.
Well, that's right. I mean, Smiths and Scream don't have any utility to burn whatsoever. They've already either used it or never actually bought near the first place. So G2 really struggling with that financial situation. They need to string a few rounds together here.
Not just that, but Train being such a retake-heavy map, only the kit on Shox, which is okay because he's usually in a decent spot patrolling through, I guess, between the bomb sites. But right now, he's going to have a lot of work to do as Apex once again goes massive. Scream and Smith go down, and so does Shox. Apex, what a show there. The individual brilliance, target to target to target. The aim was spectacular, and that's the firepower of a French superstar aimer.
And he plays that entry role so well for EnVyUs when they're playing well. I think that he's probably one of the players that does hold the key to EnVyUs. And when he's entering like that, you can see the rest of the team don't really have too much of a job to do. In fact, he's picked up 4 for the round there. So 3 opening frags and the hunting frag there as well. You could see G2. There is a pause coming out. Their money situation, we said, was going to be quite dire. They've been whittled away to hard reset in some instances, so it's not boding too well for them. As we said, City side Train, you need to get those rounds on the board. Yeah,
I think that was a tech pause. It's already going back through it, and it would have been odd for G2 to take it there, but we've seen so many times teams take tech pause on an eco and give themselves, I guess, an even extended conversation through not only the time that they get in the pause, but the eco round itself, taking it slow. But as it stands, G2 didn't require that. It was just a small technical issue that has been resolved fairly quickly. Now they get back underway. G2, of course, with these pistols, not really expecting to do too much. Stranger things have happened, Jim, but being this outgunned and outmanned on Train is a hard prospect for any team.
And I think the thing that bodes well here for EnVyUs is the fact that they've actually stuck together on this round, recognising that they're up against a team that's likely to be eco, and they do manage to close that one out, taking a single loss. A lot of damage, but not a loss. It's when they get picked apart on a map like Train, it becomes a little bit more difficult to win those anti-eco rounds. But they did the right thing there, stuck together, and we do see them now pick up their 6th round and make it increasingly difficult for G2.
Apex is making it increasingly difficult for G2. Look at him go. 20 kills for 7 deaths. He's going absolutely monstrous. And if it's not Apex, it's been Kenny S with that all. But he's only been doing it recently. Apex, clearly, only 11 rounds in with 20 kills and no assists. He's getting the job done. He's putting out a huge amount of damage here for his team and really pushing them through the T side of their map pick, which is Train. The next map, I believe, Jim, is Nuke. And it will be G2's pick then. So we'll see how the tables turn. But right now, it is a full-fledged gun round here as G2 trying to defend this inside bomb site. It will be Body trying to body his opponents there. He'll get the good angle. Nice solid hold there from the G2 player. And it's going to be all on Happy, but he's got the better half of the Scream 1-tap. And Jim, Body there with the simple crossfire. I thought it was going to be a few more kills there, but Body just showing nice recoil control.
And that's a round that G2 needed as well. They took only a single loss in that round and managed to pick up that ABP for Smiths. So all in all, good round. Great work from Body there, picking up the tray.
Yep.
And just halting a little bit of momentum that EnVyUs had. They've still got a lot of money behind them, though, so not surprised to see them continually keep buying into this round and into the subsequent rounds as well. But bit of a different approach here. Kenny S slowly making his way out. T-Con picks up that first frag. Shocks unsupported by the rest of his team there. He was isolated from those smokes and does pay the price. And now see Smith with that AWP find a reply. He's taken down quite quickly. And now it's all falling to pieces here for G2 after having such a good round. Apex making it more and more difficult by the second.
Oh my god, Apex is on some sort of tear right now. He is just being unleashed outside as Kenny S pulls the trigger on that scope and gets it done. But at the end of the day, that's all about Apex, Jim. It's all about Apex and his ability to just really crush the T-side opponents, the CT side opponents there. Once he got out on top of those trains, he got the swindle going, and then he was just able to peek over the top of the smoke repeatedly, get that distance down the train yard, surprise his opponents, and yeah, just really be a nuisance there outside. EnVyUs doing great work, getting their counterparts to expose themselves. But G2 here, long way back. They've bought into this one. 3 rifles on hand, couple of pistols as well. No kits though, and very, very little resource. Only 3 flashbangs across the board, and this is going to be an inside read here from EnVyUs. A good one too. They just need to catch Body off guard here, and it's all over bar the shouting, but they're going to take their time and allow G2 to just sweat just a little bit.
And they're well grouped up here, actually. The only person that is in that solo alert position is Happy, as expected. So he's just going through vines, as we've seen him many times before. And he's going to be counted 2 opposition, but the rest of EnVyUs have just grouped up, making inside their own now. We will see the hit, and the Body goes down quite early. He's unsupported. Happy finally combusts onto the vines area, as we do see Apex, just making sure that no one is creeping. Smith goes down. Scream finds a reply. He's one of the ones that did save that Colt, and him and Shocks now need to do it all again. He's actually picked up that AK, so he's even more dangerous than usual, but they're going to be collapsed on here as we see EnVyUs just retreating the bomb site. Scream with that one tap, picks up Apex, and no matter how sharp Apex is, he's always going to have trouble up against Scream with that AK.
Wow, what a jewel that Scream just took there. He heard him coming and he's just stepped on him, and before the terrorist even had a chance to react, his head was removed. Scream probably chuckled to himself, and he bunny hops back through the Vines corridor. Team EnVyUs will actually pick up their 8th round, and they've really resurrected this half, Jim. They started well. Then I guess a really good defense was set up there by G2. Lots of opportunities for Team EnVyUs to come back into this one. But I haven't seen any glaring mistakes here from the G2 side. It's been more about the shots and the opportunities that EnVyUs have created for themselves that have really been the storyline for this match for me. It's a great T-side play, but will it be enough? 6-8? Not sure. It can go both ways. It's slightly CT biased, but at the end of the day, as EnVyUs are displaying right now, if you're on, you're on.
Yeah, well, there's nothing you can do about it, particularly when Kenny S is hitting those shots. Apex, particularly, on that entry, has just been so devastating. He's gone on to multi-frag I don't know how many times, but it's certainly been one heck of a half for him already, but we'll see. RPK just trying to get himself a little bit closer. Surprise Apex there. The Danger Man has been taken out, and we now see the rest of EnVyUs make their way through to the inside bomb site. Happy on that work outside though. And the one tap from Scream.
Wow, that's amazing. And now Smiths also picks up one with the 5-7 there, so he's ringing through with his aim now. Body puts the spam down with that 5-7. Plenty of bullets in the chamber. Uses all 20 and comes up with the kill on Kenny S. But that one tap from Scream was just ridiculous at top ramp there. And now Happy's going to come around with the flank, but Scream, man, able to control that spray mid-range as well. So Scream on right now, 8-7. But now Scream does have that AK in his hand for more than one round. And as we were finishing that CT half, he was pretty impressive with that AK. So
yeah,
danger signs here perhaps for EnVyUs if Scream, the one-tap machine, can get going. But if on the other side of the spectrum, Apex and Kenny S, they're doing great work as well.
Yeah, look, if Scream gets going, and we've seen him already start to warm up with that AK, he could be a dangerous prospect. Everybody knows that. It's not any sort of secret, but I think he's definitely going to be the key for G2 to get themselves back into this half. It was a rough CT half from them. It was really just EnVyUs being quite clinical in their approach. You can see they were throwing those progression smokes, they were forcing the rotations out of G2. G2, at times, were caught out playing very aggressive. There wasn't any sort of set smoke strategy, as you do see from some teams.
Yep.
From EnVyUs, it was basically just solid team plays and timing that was actually winning them those rounds. But I think G2 are going to have to pull a little bit more out of the bag. This was, of course, EnVyUs' map pick.
Yep.
So it's no surprise, really, to see them quite comfortable.
It's no surprise to see them comfortable. I do think that they showed a little bit of flex there on their T-side EnVyUs with their strategy. They showed a little bit to G2, but they were able, in the rounds that they won, to really get early picks. And they weren't really forced into using it. And on the flip side, when they were losing rounds, they lost early picks. So there wasn't really ever that many rounds that they actually sort of battled 5 versus 5, so to speak, and the full execute had to come out. Both teams playing a very counterish style to each other, knowing each other's games so well. You know, a couple of times there we saw RPK catch his counterpart at Vines with their pants down with that 5-7 a couple of times against the wall, and you only do that to players you have a good understanding of and you know how they play and what they do. So brilliant stuff there from both sides. It's a really open one here, and I mean, if I had to pick at this point, Jim, I might actually pick against EnVyUs on their own map. Even though they put together a great T-side, I think that G2 can get out amongst the train yard and really unleash Scream.
That's a dangerous prospect. If he does actually continue his form, it's going to be really difficult to contain him, particularly if he's hitting those AK1 taps. You said the update most recently is bringing the best of him back, and that is really quite scary. Peter, it is nearing the early hours of the morning here in Australia.
I believe it's close to 4 o'clock. Yep.
And how are you feeling about the prospect of casting some fantastic years in the Pro League? Of course, we're quite privileged to be able to bring you this from our humble little studio here in Brisbane, Australia.
Absolutely. We're so thankful for the opportunity to get on board with ESL Pro League. Bring English-speaking viewers all around the world, the B broadcast. So thanks to the ESL team doing their job at a very high level as always. Hope everyone's enjoying the stream, and we do see some of the finest talent in the world right now. A local derby from the country of France unfolding in front of us right now. G2 Esports coming up against Team EnVyUs. The greatest display of talent pretty much ever displayed in France is all on show right now, barring a few old schoolers that we may see come back soon, but at the moment not present. These guys are truly special, and we're going in for a fantastic second half here as G2 look as though they're making moves towards that inside bomb slide, and in fact they are. They will group up towards that low ramp. Devil will get the spot, and he plays a huge role in how this one unfolds for G2. He's going to either make or break their T-side pistol. Apex there, the danger man as well from the first half, that AK. And his aim was very much on, and this is an execute. Although pretty decent level, pushes Devil back straight away. Those smokes are deep, and the push is very, very quick here. Excellent execute from G2, getting control of that bomb site. But Jim, it's never about getting the bomb site. It's always about the post plant.
More importantly, they're pushed up here, so this is really dangerous for EnVyUs. Luckily for them, though, they've just held back quite patiently, and now it's difficult for G2 as we do see them all go down. Shox is the only one to find a reply so far, and now he's in a bit of a pickle as we do see Happy take him down. They are able to retake this site. Only body left. The bomb is planted for him, but he has to get himself out that low ramp there. And he's not quite sure where that bomb is. It will be defused. Apex takes him down for good measure, and we do see EnVyUs pick up the pistol. Yeah,
lovely execute there from G2, but it wasn't enough. I was optimistic but fearful for them after they used all of their utility just getting in. Sometimes it's not enough because, well, often on train actually it's not enough to maintain control of the round. Those spots, there are so few spots to hide after the bomb's planted on the T-side of train, and after the bomb's planted, the CTs did a great job there of just isolating all the different spots and picking them off.
I think more importantly was the fact that EnVyUs were actually playing very deep in the site as well. So the smokes would have worked fantastic if they were playing in more aggressive positions, and it would have isolated them from rotation and support. But in that case, EnVyUs played it quite well.
Absolutely will. And G2 here on the pain train, about to get back into this inside bomb site, or attempt to anyway. MPK jumping around the scout, and He's actually lucky that the terrorist didn't decide to rush down low ramp while he was jumping around, but it doesn't stand there. Will go down high, and Happy will get one before traded out by Shocks there. The bomb being planted. Good eco round here for the terrorist side, but it's going to be so hard for them to maintain control. The grenade work at a very high level, and it's going to be an uphill battle for G2 from here.
Trouble avoiding all the grenades there as KennyS does take down Smiths. Tries to get himself out low ramp here, but Scream is still alive. And he might be able to isolate Kenny. He does actually find him as well and has done enough to get the diffuser off the bomb. It's a 1v1 with Apex. Apex does not have a kit, so he needs to get himself onto that bomb site there. Hopefully be able to pick up one here from the end of the train. He isn't able to do so, so this is going to be an awkward situation where he does eventually find the kit and should have enough time to get this defuse.
Oh, he does not, and that's tragedy there for EnVyUs as the hero of the round, Scream, rejoices. He picks up 2 excellent kills there. The timing on the diffuser was excellent, but I mean, Apex should have had that for all money if he had have seen the kit a little bit further away on the right there. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it goes. Swings and roundabouts, the ebb and flow of Lord Gaben's product.
Unfortunately for him, it was hiding in plain sight, that kit. So he wasn't able to find it in time. And G2, very, well, it wasn't anything special that round at all. They basically just made their entries there. Great work from Scream in that situation to find the frags that were needed. And I mean, we said he was one of the more dangerous players for G2. It seems to be the Scream and Apex show at the moment.
Certainly does, certainly does. And both players, one from each side in these French teams, putting on a show. And that's the bomb. Shocks goes down first, and it's lucky for him. His teammates, Johnny on the spot there. Smith's able to get one to go, and Scream is going to continue his red-hot form with that AK. Just making pretty light work of the EnVyUs defense there, and inside he's just going to continue to pick away. Scream has no fear, but I mean, there's only one person alive there, so I'm not sure what he's expecting to come out of the CT con, but
he's always ready.
But you know, I don't really need to go giving Scream too much grief as he picks up yet another kill, and this was, I guess, my prediction, Jim. Scream to go really massive on T side and just cause a huge amount of inconvenience for EnVyUs, not let them get into their progressions.
Well, I mean, Apex is on 27 frags at this point. 27 frags in 18 rounds. He needs a lot of help here because the rest of EnVyUs are trailing very, very far behind him. So G2, on the other hand, a little bit more even in their distribution, but I mean, one man is certainly the difference here between the two teams, and there's not too much of a difference in that eventual scoreline.
No, there's not, as NBK. Did he just get a headshot onto Shocks then and do 11 damage?
It sounded like that, didn't it?
I'm not sure if that's just the new USP noise, but I'm pretty sure that that was just an 11 health headshot there. Shocks wearing it like a champ, like a Rocky Balboa film. He just takes one to the jaw and continues his merry way. It's not how hard you get hit, Jim. It's how hard you can get hit. Keep moving forward, and Shocks there keeps moving forward, picks up a couple of SMG kills. And
I was going to say, if there's one thing in CSGO is that the engine does allow you to keep moving forward.
It does.
Even though you get headshot. So I think they're taking the Rocky principle there and applied it to... do
you reckon that's written into the code in Counter-Strike? Just like the like CL_Rocky Balboa 1, where you can just keep moving forward and just get proper, you know, straight
Balboa principle.
The Balboa principle of the CSGO engine. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to say that it's definitely there, but I'm also not going to rule it out at this point, as now we see Happy going for that aggressive pick, but he's been smoked down off top ramp already, and this one's just starting to heat up now. G2 starting to get themselves into a little bit of form with Scream, and EnVyUs going for that double orb setup, Jim, but once again, no kits. They're really banking on shutting them down before they get into these bomb sites.
That they are, and you can see they're still playing fairly defensive here, as the only real forward person is NBK. That smoke on low ramp there. It's going to hopefully just stop them coming down that low ramp. We now see G2 combust onto this site. They do make it all the way through. Body has made it easy as Scream is just headshotting absolutely everything, including teammates. He does pick up RPK and, of course, NBK. And once upon a time, that might have been a realistic scenario, but we now see G2 take control of this bomb site. The retake to come in. They are just thinking about it at the moment. If they do find this frag, they will be able to go for it there, but Body finds the frag onto Devil. Apex and KennyS who combined to find the 2 frags. It's now 2 versus 2. Low HP here on G2 players.
But are they going to go for it? And the answer is yes. Apex finds that kill onto Smith, spotted him out, but does get a little bit lucky on the falling kill. This is all on the veteran Shocks, but Kenny S able to isolate the angle at top ramp and take him down before he can do any damage. That's a very fortuitous round there for Team EnVyUs. They needed to get it, and somehow the wily old Foxes have come away with the W.
I'm not too sure about that mid-air kill. I don't know.
I mean,
it's not exactly game-breaking anymore, is it?
The guy in the smoke was very low, and his crosshair was on the in the rough vicinity of the other person. So for me, that's a guaranteed kill in CS:GO. It's
not RNG anymore, is it? Unfortunately.
No.
A little bit more dependable than that. Nonetheless, though, we will see EnVyUs able to buy into this round. MBK having to go a little bit light, pick up that Famous.
Yeah, but look at the pace here, changing it up for G2. They're going to go straight inside. MBK finds one. He's going to do well to find a second. He can't. Smith also gets that orb to go. And this push from G2, a successful one, catching Team EnVyUs off guard. Really well done. And now they're going to have to once again try and defend this inside bomb site.
I really like the change of pace there from G2. Yep. That was, well, evident in that they caught EnVyUs completely off guard. You could see that had absolutely no idea that was coming, the fast aggression. I think the difference between the two teams, actually, is the fact that G2, on their T side, have been placing a lot more emphasis on Brown Hall's control.
Absolutely.
EnVyUs, on their T side, were very content to just hold. MBK, I think, was the man that was tasked with that inside bomb site by himself, but we will see UpUK pick up the last remaining frag after Shocks picks up a double at Vines. So they're not making it easy at all, G2. They're putting together some rounds on their T side, and that's not boding too well for EnVyUs on their map pick. As you can see, their money has been reset. It
doesn't really matter how far apart the French teams are in world rankings. If, you know, back in the day, Titan and EnVyUs played each other. If Titan was ranked 1 and EnVyUs was ranked 20th, if they played each other, they would play each other really hard. They know all the tendencies. They know the players. They know the play style. These games are always such a pleasure to watch. And now Scream, talk about his one-taps. That was more of a 3-tap, but he gets the job done nonetheless. NBK, stop it there with the Deagle headshot. Just warming up right now, and this is an unfavorable situation, but luckily, Scream is still alive and just punching out kill after kill. Oh my goodness, Happy! The long-range Deagle effort is good, and Scream needs to be very, very careful here as the previous Eagle player is on the prowl.
The French Deagle, it's a revolution. As we see Happy just finding Scream out, though. He doesn't actually manage to get a tag on him there, and two players with their preferred weapons, I dare say, going head-to-head here. Happy knows where he is and needs to try and find him very quickly. Well, had a general idea of where he is, but Scream should be able to find him out here. Patience being shown in the face of aggression. Finally is drawn into that spray, is able to control it, takes down Happy there, but EnVyUs making it very, very expensive there for G2.
Yeah, luckily for G2, they managed to win a couple of rounds, but they're on T-side as well. So the economy there, as long as they keep getting the bomb down, is going to tickle over nicely. And whilst it is expensive, EnVyUs doing a good job. They needed to come away with a win there. That's a game-changing round that sometimes if you can just clinch that 50-50 round that maybe you should win, maybe you shouldn't win. I think that those Deagles were ringing true for them, and that was just one of those, you know, crazy rounds we saw, but unfortunately it didn't work itself out, and that could have been the moment that the momentum swings back EnVyUs' way, but it'll all be Shocks here, going inside, finding the first kill, and he'll push all the way through. The calls will come out from his teammates to get inside, but they're not really too concerned with this eco, although they should be, because Kenny has to pick up double. Could be a triple here, but no, RPK gets traded as well by Apex. This is a crazy round panning out, but once again, Scream and Shocks are left to do the clean-up duties, and they'll do the duties well. They'll work their way into this 2 versus 1. Apex going to have to do something pretty special here to pull this one out of the hat, but he's been on fire.
He has been, and we said he needed a little bit of help. He's finally starting to get that help, but I think it just might be a little bit too late for him to see. If he can take that AK into the next round, it will bode well for them. As we said, their money situation was quite dire, so he looks like he's able to get that gun to safety. Or is he? As we do see, he's going to take this this aim duel. Shocks might actually creep into his crosshair if he's lucky. He does go that frag. Now 1 versus 1 with Scream. So the two form players from each team going head to head.
And Apex already here with a double. This is such a huge round for EnVyUs. This could make or break the game for them. If they're able to pick up this round, it will mean that they're only one behind and their money will be a little bit surer, but Apex right now knows the bomb is inside. Scream has no idea about the whereabouts, and this could be very, very interesting. Apex getting so close right now, creeping all the way up. Scream's got no idea he's there, and I think Apex has done enough here. He has. Well played by Apex there, taking the long way home, taking the scenic route, and enjoying the view when he got there.
Great work from Apex there in that situation. As we said, single-handedly, he has been the difference between G2 and EnVyUs. G2 have been playing together well as a team. EnVyUs, on the other hand, have been struggling. And if it isn't for the handiwork of Apex, who is now on 32 frags, he's getting a little bit of help from Kenny S, but mainly he's doing the bulk of the lifting for them, particularly in that entry role, or did on the T side. He's been the difference, far and clear, and if it wasn't for him, it'd certainly be a bit of a steamrolling from G2.
Certainly would, but on the flip side, Shox has done an equally impressive job. My apologies, Scream has done an equally impressive job. Not that Shox hasn't as well. I mean, it sounds derogatory to say that Shox hasn't done an excellent job, but really it's been about Scream and his ability to open up these bomb sites. Apex did it so well for his side, as you said in the first half, and now it's Scream's turn, and that was the key for me, as I said, Jim. It's coming to fruition. It's on its way there, but a lot more work to do. It is 10-11. That was a crucial round win for the boys in blue right now, EnVyUs. And once again, G2 going to lean heavily on this inside bomb site. It's worked well for them so far, but will it last?
That's the question. Will it last? But you can see now this solo site defender, MBK, is going to be put under a little bit of pressure here as they do hit that inside bomb site. He is taken down swiftly there by the headshot of Shox. No rotation coming in from EnVyUs. They're just holding at the moment. They are eventually making their long way through to the bomb site. The bomb will be planted inside, but I think they're making that call fairly early to save. Yeah,
really early here, and I mean, it's going to give the G2 players a lot of opportunity to push, and you can already see them flooding out of this bomb site. So EnVyUs, whilst they made this decision, they need to be really careful. They've already lost the round. They cannot afford to lose even one more weapon. Otherwise, this will become a pretty dire situation for them. Happy Kenny S sharing a lovely little position around the bin there. And really Apex getting one. That's an important frag. He needed to make that one onto body and did. And I think this will end up okay, but a lot of pressure coming away from the Vines area. It won't be enough. I think everyone will survive here for EnVyUs, and they do. It's a great result, but G2 pick up another round and continue to look strong on their T side.
And as a result of winning that round, Apex does have a little bit of a stash of money. So he's able to, I guess, fill the void there and drop his teammate. And we'll actually pick up an AWP. 3 AWPs coming out from EnVyUs. So this is going to be interesting. Heavy investment here and at a critical stage of the game.
Absolutely. It's going to be an extremely hard task here for EnVyUs to try and turn the tides. I know that they've got the skill to do it. Kenny S, walking CT side train, it almost feels counterintuitive that I'm scared for their safety right now. This should be a huge comfort zone for EnVyUs, but they're being pushed so hard by G2 right now. All aspects of the map. Just the spray coming in from Shox there, keeping that pressure on a low ramp, making sure that the counter-terrorists know there's that ever-present threat of the inside bomb side hit, which has been so successful for them. I think they're going to lean on outside here, Jim, but the CTs aren't to know.
Well, I mean, EnVyUs have placed a premium on defending Vines, but you can see how defensive they are in either of these sites as we see G2 hit this bomb site.
Yeah, and the action's going to come out pretty quickly. I think it would be Devil opening up, and Screams get another team kill, but they're always headshots, which is the interesting part. Shox is unleashed into the middle of the bomb site. He's going to have to do some pretty heavy lifting. He gets one. Can he get two? No, Apex replied swiftly and accurately to the head of Shox now, and it'll be on Smith. He gets one. Can he get a second? He cannot get it to go. EnVyUs here, ramping it back up, Jim. These French derbies, as we've said repeatedly, always delivered once again. We have EnVyUs fighting their way back into this one against G2.
Well, just as the pendulum you think the pendulum's swinging one way, it takes a swift turn and starts to swing back the other way. These two teams are going neck and neck, and you would expect this rivalry to continue, but EnVyUs do pull one back. G2 able to buy into this round quite comfortably as well. You can see a little bit of utility all over the place. Shox with that AWP as well. Smiths also with that AWP, so quite a few AWPs in play this round.
There's 4, and given the players using them, I think it's all pretty expected. Happy, Kenny S, Smiths, RPK, who will be the first player to find a kill. Unfortunately for Devil, I think he's going to be outgunned here. Shox has got a pretty keen angle. He's about to hold an RPK. He's got a flashbang or a smoke ready to go. It's a smoke, and this outside bomb slide is going to get it working over here from G2, but that's a great Molotov. And that's just halted the progression of the G2 guys. Scream can't find the angle on the flashbang because of that fire. And now it's going to be a pretty clunky hit here, but RPK tries to get out of lines. Sorry, SL, he cannot do it. Kenny picks up a double green work by him. Apex responds in kind, and Jim, this is very, very ugly here for G2.
It is very ugly. Kenny S is proving to just be an unstoppable force there. They're getting demolished as they try and get out that SL. Happy there. I'm watching Vines. Scream and Smiths, 2 players that have been playing quite well actually for G2. They need to combine here. Otherwise, EnVyUs will be able to draw that back to a 13-all scoreline, and we'll see them try and edge their way to collect that bomb. It is in an awkward position. It's just too difficult for them to overcome, as we do see EnVyUs bring it to 13-all, and at a critical part of the game, G2's money tree has been uprooted.
Finally, a sigh of relief from EnVyUs. They know that that will cause the G2 side to be on a save round here. Will that be a total save? I'm not sure. A couple of Tech 9's pistols going out. Some armor there, head armor as well, mind you. An AK coming out now for body, so resources have been purchased here. 3 smokes, a series of flashbangs, pistols, and 1 AK. I find it strange that Scream doesn't have that AK, to be honest. It's weird. I think that just given how much damage he's done with that weapon in this game, you'd think that he should get it. But
surely you'd shuffle it around. You'd
shuffle
player.
it. Yeah, exactly. You'd think so, but you know, it's a situation where often the casters are proved to be wrong, as body will probably end up with a 4K and an awesome round.
We're used to it.
We are used to it. Absolutely.
The casters that curse themselves.
We can curse ourselves as well as the players often. It's a powerful position being a caster. You can curse the players at any point. As right now, as we see G2 working their way out Vines, and it's going to be an aggressive push. Once again, the Molotov work by CT is pretty good. Apex just going to go, and thought he was going to get a huge spray down there, but the G2 guys doing a great job of trading, and now Shox is out the back aisles with an AK. This is no good news at all for EnVyUs.
Oh.
Crazy 1B there by Shox onto the bomb train. NBK goes down. Scream! That's why he's got that deagle in hand, and now it's just an absolute devastating round here for G2 Esports, and they're going to collapse all over this outside bomb slide, and they're going to leave it all up to one member of EnVyUs, which is Happy.
He's got that ABP, and I think he's got other plans. I don't think he's going to go for this one at all. If he is, he's just simply changing his position as he does make his way towards that SL if he's going to go for it, but surely at this stage here, the money situation is not going to allow him to do so. Great work from G2 there, just when you think they're down and out and on the ropes. We didn't really approve of their, I guess, weapon distribution in that particular instance, but they made it work. Shox was able to pick up that AK there from Vines and continue to go on to make another frag, as well as things just collapsed for EnVyUs. But I mean, we questioned the fact that they should have been giving their form player Scream that AK, or the guillotine as it's known in France. So either way, it's worked out for them. G2 find that 14th round, and EnVyUs in a little bit of trouble of their own, I feel.
Yeah, but they're going to have a pretty steep decision here, and it's not going to be a very hard one for Kenny S. I'm going to say they had to do some balancing of funds, but Kenny's gone all the way in on that AWP straight away. No surprise there. I look shocked, but I'm not in the purchase from Kenny S there. He'll pick up that AWP, and they'll once again cruise into this double AWP setup, but the pressure is now on here for EnVyUs. They need to make this one work and reset the money of their counterparts once again, but for G2, this could be the final round where they just do enough to creep over the line. EnVyUs fighting hard, trying to come back here, Jim, on their map pick. It's such an intense moment. I guess both these teams hate losing to each other.
That they do, and they are going to stream out this SL or short ladder. And Apex is happy to oblige. He picks up a triple, looking for the fourth, not able to find it. Shox is finally able to silence him there, as Kenny S misses what would be a normally bread and butter style shot for him. But look at the plant down here. So 2 versus 3 situation, and awkward post-plant positions here for G2.
Yeah, Kenny S has spotted the feet there, and that means Shox will go down. Only one member remaining for G2. This is going to have to be some sort of miracle on the bomb train here for RPK. As he spots one out, does get the headshot, he does, but obviously the position's there. Not known to him of the EnVyUs players. They'll come in with the cleanup crew and get the job done. EnVyUs rock and roll along to that 14th round, and these, they keep saying it, Jim, but these French derbies, they're really special. I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to cast this game, because every single time these guys come up against each other, they put on an absolute showing of the highest caliber, and we're enjoying this action tonight.
And I mean, it's not often that you actually see players like Happy and NBK struggling in these sorts of instances, but I mean, it's been completely eclipsed by the performances of their teammates. Apex, 39 frags. This guy's going absolutely ham, and I mean, we saw him slow down a little bit on that CT side, but he's picked up the pace once again in that round, picking up a triple and proving to be the difference once again for EnVyUs. But a crucial round coming out, you can see G2 don't really have too much map territory early on. They're just very, very cautious in their approach.
Yeah, it's not often that we see someone from EnVyUs 40 bombing that isn't Kenny S. So really massive work rate here for Apex, as he's once again going to be called into action. What can he do? This all rides on him. Apex, the star player of this game so far. He gets one. Can he get a second? No. RPK getting one, but Kenny S will get a double as well with that scope down the train yard. And now Happy tries to find one, but he'll join up with Kenny S. Body trying to get a one-tap there on the bomb train. Smiths works his way around as well, but the trade will come out. It's now 1 versus 1. And NBK and Body square off here for a very, very crucial round. It will move either of these teams onto 15. The money situation for the other side will be dire. This is the 1 versus 1. The highest caliber, 14-14. And NBK gets the jump on Body, picks up the round, moves EnVyUs onto game point for their map pick. But G2, they did make that force buy work now, Jim, but they don't have that 1 AK. And they're going to have to pull something pretty special out. Team EnVyUs finishing their way. That's
right. They don't even have the money to actually put an AK in anybody's hands. So this is just going to be a pure Tech 9 train round. There is a P250 there on screen. He's quite proficient with any weapon, to be fair. And EnVyUs, on the other hand, quite a lot of money, quite a lot of utility, and the momentum as well. They've been able to wrestle it back from G2 in these late rounds, and I think this is where it could get stolen away from G2 in this crucial round.
Yeah, it certainly is an uphill battle here for G2. EnVyUs doing everything right towards the closing stage of this game.
Now this is where G2 need to use their utility to try and close down the sites, use those smokes to force close range battles here with EnVyUs. They've been able to do it before, but let's just see how this goes, because those range battles against rifles is not going to work out. Happy picks up the first frag onto Shox there, and this is where things explode on this inside bomb site.
Yeah, it's going to be a shot through the smoke there that takes down Shox, and this is going to be an absolute meltdown here for G2. They can barely manage to get a kill here as they roll on the inside side. You can understand why, but Scream picks up one. Now he's in a 3 versus 1, make that a 2 versus 1. Scream, the headshot machine, can he do something very, very special here and force overtime? He manages to get away from the bomb train, but there's so much pressure on Scream. Run! Oh my goodness, he hasn't. He's nailed. NBK, he goes around the train. But what a fitting end to a huge match for Apex. He has ended the game on 40 plus kills. And that is a performance for the ages, Jim, against his French counterparts, against his French rivals. The derby, the local competition, it's all there, it's all in place, and Apex was happy to oblige us with a fantastic performance.
And what a show it was as well, because we said he was the difference in so many rounds for EnVyUs, and they do manage to steal that one away from G2 in the end there. Luckily for them, it was their map pick as well. And we will be going on to Nuke in just a moment, but the French derbies always deliver, and that one went right down to the wire, so no surprises there.
Not at all.
And in a star-filled lineup or a star-studded lineup,
yep.
You're going to expect players to stand up and be counted. And I think definitely Apex and Scream, for me, were the 2 MVPs from each team respectively, and luckily for Apex's sake, EnVyUs got over the line in the end, because it's not often a performance like that should go unrewarded.
Well, I mean, when you look at G2, Shox was firing, Scream was firing. They were getting through their progressions on T, so they were looking great, and EnVyUs were in trouble.
They were.
And Apex was slowing down, and it took him to, I guess, regather that momentum personally and get them back over the line. A Herculean performance for Apex. 41 plus kills, I believe, something around that level. And it just goes to show that any one of these players can go off at any time. Certainly when you look at EnVyUs' roster, his name doesn't necessarily jump out as the one that you think is going to do all the damage. You know, between Happy and Kenny S, you always think one of those guys is going to do some serious damage. But it was Apex this time, and his teammates will be so grateful for that game because he single-handedly got them over the line.
That he did, and I think he's the key for me to EnVyUs' performances.
Yep.
Mainly because he's in such a crucial role. He's that entry fragger, and when he's firing, he makes it so much easier for the guys to do their job. And I mean, we saw MBK there struggling to actually frag. He really wasn't called into action in that game. There wasn't a lot of instances where he really needed to be that person to go to for the frags.
And it's funny you should say that because the rounds where Kenny has had high impact, those 2 to 3 quick AWP frags we're used to, it was always off the back of something from Apex. It was a move that Apex had made, or one of his teammates, but mostly it was Apex opening up one of the sites and allowing Kenny S to trail in and do what he does best.
Exactly right. And I think that was the difference there. The fact that finally in the end, after Apex doing a lot of heavy lifting in the first instance there, he was well supported by his team in the end, and that's what got them over the line. Scream, he's back.
He's back.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be taking a very, very short break, guys. Stay with us. We're here with the ESL Pro League Season 4, Day 5, European match days. And we'll be back with Map 2 of EnVyUs versus G2 Esports. We'll be back with Nuke. Stick with us, guys.